Well, howdy, 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 nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this. It is 7:31 on Friday morning, the 28th of December, and in my lap, I have a precious little sweetie. I say precious little sweetie because she was sleeping. She was curled up, and I could see through the side of the cage that she was just curled up and sleeping, and just, oh my gosh, they just look so precious when they're sleeping. They're just so cute and so awesome, and I felt bad about waking her up because, you know, I woke her up out of her safe place. Here we go. There we go. I need to get you some tissues. She doesn't have any tissues. Boy, if I give her some tissues, she'll really help just pile that up in her nest, and that'll be awesome, and that'll be good. I feel bad. I mean, now she's up and running around because I woke her up and out of her safe place. She's probably going to make a nest in a different corner, in which case I feel bad because, you know, I woke her up, and, well, life is life. I mean, she's a rodent, so unfortunately on the might is right flagpole, she's much, much further down than I, so I woke her up. She hadn't been sleeping that long, so while I feel bad, it's not like I'm hurting her health. And hamsters can adapt their sleeping schedules to you, just like any being can adapt to settings and changes, so it's a good thing. And she's a sweetheart. I gotta find, now somebody had said about the best way, there were a lot of suggestions for fleas in the comments. Unfortunately with hamsters, a lot of them you really can't do. You shouldn't get your hamsters wet, like if a bath, because that can actually kill them because of their skin oils being washed off, their skin oils that get into their fur and keep their fur going, and the loss of skin oils, that can actually kill them. So you got to be pretty careful. So any of those that involve baths or bathing them in anything, it's borderline dangerous. I mean, they can get wet and they can swim and they're fine and they're okay. It's that sort of thing. Their fur is designed so that even if they get wet, they're not being like soaked, you know, deliberately blurfed so that stuff gets inside of their fur and coats them. But it's like chinchillas. If you get a chinchilla wet, it's gonna die. And that's why they need sand baths to keep clean, because they have such fine fur and so much fur that if you get it wet, it will never, ever, 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 ever possibly dry out. It can't dry out. So it'll stay wet next to their body there forever, and that's not good for them, and they'll get sick and they can die. So yeah, you don't want to get a chinchilla wet. And it's just like with hamsters, they're desert creatures. They can survive having to swim, but if it gets inside of underneath so that it's inside of the fur line, inside of the stuff, and washes the oils out, then that's not good. That's bad. That can hurt them and cause them issues. So somebody did mention rosemary. I don't know a lot about rosemary or what to get or where to buy it. I mean, so I'm going to, that's about the best one that I've seen so far. I mean, diatomaceous earth is good and stuff, but you got to make sure it's not too fine, because they're desert creatures, but they're not dust creatures like chinchillas. With hamsters, they don't have the filters and blocks, so really fine dust, like the dust that chinchillas use, goes right down into their respiratory systems, and that can kill them there too. Which is why you want to have aspen bedding, because as much as fir or pine smells real nice, the essential oils from those woods get into their respiratory systems, and it lowers their lives and makes them sick. So if you have wood shavings for your furry animals, aspen, it is an essential oil-free wood. And so the shavings are very, very good for your critters. You don't have to use wood shavings. There's recycled paper, and that's fine too. My only issue with recycled paper stuff is I think it's a lot dustier. And since they're prone to dust, I like wood stuff, but wood there's a lot of dust off that too. So You can only do so much. That's why, as much as tissues are fun and nice for hamsters, you want to make sure that you also clean all that stuff out of the bedding and when you change it, because paper, you know, tissue already is pretty fine. It gets even finer, it's dust, and then into the hamsters' respiratory systems, and they can't cough, but they can sneeze. So if stuff gets down inside of them, unlike us, they can't cough it out. If it's not irritating enough for them to sneeze and then hopefully get the stuff out of their lungs and stuff, it doesn't come out, it stays there. So that's not good. Poor little guys, there's so much that can happen. And then, of course, back when they were first discovered and they were used as lab animals, they bred stuff like diabetes into them, and then they gave them out, all the critters with diabetes in them. Excuse me. Takes like an hour for my throat to get all cleared up, and I start recording before all that. But they bred all these diseases in to work on for laboratory testing, and then just gave them out to pets as starters for kids. And so out there is just all these poor critters with diabetes bred into them, and we're not very nice as a species. A lot. Most. About 98% of the time, we are like a plague upon the surface of this earth. And it is kind of sad. We're supposed to live on this same planet that we're destroying, and I really don't know that we're going to survive what we've been doing to the atmosphere. I mean, the planet is warming up way faster than we ever expected. And it isn't. I've always lived on water, on coast and port cities. The only time I haven't is when I was in Germany and when I was in the Air Force in basic training. Every other time I have lived on water. The sea levels are rising. Islands are vanishing that they're having to move people off of. Islands are going away. I don't know what's going to happen when the water level rises up far enough that we lose a bunch of port cities, because that ain't far away. We're going to lose a whole bunch of cities and a whole bunch of flatlands. It's already happening in Florida, where the climate change deniers are in so much power. They're still writing legislation even now that says you cannot even include even the thought of climate change in anything if you want to deal with the state, or you will be automatically turned down. So if you try to deal with, oh, we want to do this because of climate change, nope, climate change out. We've already had planes in Florida, plane work that is being destroyed because of this short-sighted thinking, and they're having to deal with the destruction of it, and they're still writing more legislation that's going to ensure it keeps on happening forever. So I don't know what we're going to do. But I don't want to have depressing stuff to talk about anymore. I want to talk about things like, well, when I was going walkies, I work on stuff in my head when I have thoughts and ideas for stories and novels. And I know that I'm still interested in a subject when I sink my teeth into it and I just worry at it for my every waking hour. Because then I know it's something that's fascinating me. And when I've got all the details worked on, though, then there's no meat left on the bone, and my mind immediately starts looking for another bone to set its teeth in and start gnawing on. So I had an idea not that long ago for a whole novella/novel with dreaming, where you go where you dream, and the dreamers and the Draylands, and a big thing going on with a person who's a lucid dreamer in the Draylands, and he can't go back to his body because it's been severely injured. He doesn't know where it is, so he's stuck lucid dreaming, and he's picking up some friends who are trying to help him. I was worrying on that one, just set my teeth in and gnawing on it, and then one day I stopped and started setting my teeth in another idea. Well, this entire past month, I don't have anything on it now, but this whole Sigur Plague Sun thing, it was just a goofy idea that I was thinking of that somebody else had thought of, because it was like, you know, the old 28, 30 days hath November, April, May, and whatever the poem is. But it's a poem for how many days in the month. And so I'd always just done some goofy stuff. And then somebody mentioned something in a comment, and I mentioned some other goofy stuff off of it. And then because of that, I now have an entire freaking novel in my head that I have been working on obsessively my every waking moment. Last night, when going walking, I suddenly realized I need to write this one down because my mind went and set its teeth into a different subject and started chewing on that. So when my mind is done chewing on it so that all the details are set, so that there's nothing left to no joy left in fussing and fighting over it, it goes on to another thing to figure out what the details are. So apparently my subconscious and my mind is said, okay, that one's done. I need to write these things down. I really need to. I spent most of my life trying to be a writer until my alcoholism was just like a big bucket of water poured on a fire. It was a slow trickle until it was just a flood of water onto the fire. There were just embers, bare embers left in some bits of ashes here and there that said, you do want to write, don't you? You want to be a writer, right? Those little tiny bits of ashes left. They've been fed with kindling and they're back into a fire now. I've actually had not the fire in my belly that I used to have when I was younger, when I wrote every day on my manual typewriter stacks because I had to write. Now, the fire is coming back. It's nowhere near the roaring furnace it used to be, but it's coming back, and I need to write these things down. I have had, just in the 2 years that I've been living here, a good 5 or 6 things that are heavy duty that will make even more. I just remembered one that I had to write but haven't yet. Things that I've set my teeth in and worried on till the details make sense, because if I can't make all the plot points work, I'm not like a bunch of other writers or old-time writers, especially the pulp writers, where they would have a character die, show up again in another chapter later on in the book, die, and then show up again to save the day. No explanations, it was just sloppy writing, but it didn't bother them. But for me, if I've got just one plot point, like, gosh darn it, I can't figure out how they changed their costume. And then the whole story I can't do because that one detail I can't figure out. The whole thing comes apart. So perfectionism is not really a good thing. It's very bad, especially if you're depressed. Because you have the mindset of, if you can't make it perfect, why even try? And you've got such such heights set for that perfection, there's no way you can ever do it. So you never try. Perfectionism and depression go hand in hand, and it sucks. But just as an aside, this was from, I remember as a kid, they had ads in every magazine, pictures of like Aretha Franklin. And it would say, is it live or is it Memorex? And I just suddenly remember today, you know, they used to have all that. I haven't seen ads for any Memorex stuff ever for a very long time. And the last time I saw any Memorex product, it was just like CDRWs now. So, are there still Memorex products? Was it ever a corporation? I have no ideas. But it just suddenly struck me, and I was like, good golly, Miss Molly. More stuff from my youth that I have no ideas about anymore. And thank you again for coming along with me on this journey of exploration when I ramble about nothing at all for 20 minutes. It is appreciated. Thank you very, very much. Especially annoying is how often now I'm having to do that. thoroughly irritating. Oh, and I did get person who emailed it to me. I can't remember your name immediately. I'm very sorry. I need to email you to let you know. I got I was sent a used video card, a GeForce GTX 1060. And apparently there's a lot of work you have to do to make it work correctly, but it was sent to me very, very wonderfully. It has shown up. Thank you very much. I actually got it like last Thursday or Friday or something before the whole everything shut down. But thank you very, very much. And now I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. And this time I actually did before I started talking, unlike yesterday. And I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people. It is arranged because even though I got an American Sign Language with my depression and fibro, I'm lucky I remember my own name anymore. Well, I'm 1,000% better than I used to be. 25% capacity of what a normal person's memory is. But I'm getting there. Pretty soon I'll be at 30. Thumbs up for that. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker. What can I say? We're not good at that sort of thing. And I'm not reading the comments right now. I'm just thanking you for having left a comment. So good comment, bad comment, indifferent comment, like yesterday when I had basically one of the first people I thanked for having left me a comment, and his comment was basically, why haven't you fucked off and died yet? So whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, the fact that you left me a comment is good, and thank you much for that. So not reading the comments, but well, I mean, I'm going to, I'm just not reading them on camera. So we have Phoenix of Fire HD, thank you very, very much. And Dan Scott, greatly appreciated. Walu, I hope I'm close, thank you very much. Jen the Master, greatly appreciated. 100 subs with no video challenge, greatly appreciated. DBZ Society, thumbs up. Vintage Laser, greatly appreciated. Diamond, I cannot read the letters. They are Cyrillic, I think, but thank you very, very much. And Adrian Suchan, thank you very, very much. Sad Supreme, greatly appreciated. Duckman, thumbs up and thank you. Unbelievable Scenes, actually this comment, you're insufferable. Yeah, you got that right. I am. What can I say? I take that as a plus. Conspo Lopez, greatly appreciated. Jesus Crisis, oh, I like that name, thank you. Enger, thank you very, very much. And Sad Handshu Tripathi, boy, I hope I'm close, but I bet I'm not. Thank you very, very much. John Timing, thumbs up and appreciated. Toe Stabbed, greatly appreciated. Kathy Kitscat, thumbs up and thank you. And Mika Mach 5, always good to see you in the comments. I know you don't say much, you're very busy, but it is appreciated. Thank you. And we have Pandora NYC1, thank you very, very much. Tundra Keeper, greatly appreciated. We have John McNairn, another unpleasant comment. Ice Damon, thumbs up and thank you. And Alex and Gordon SAS4, thank you very, very much. Greatly appreciated. As stated, you get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people, and that's fine. And for the troll comments, again, as long as they're not abusive comments, I'm gonna leave them up. I don't care. I'll answer back. I might call you an idiot in return if you're just a troll, but past that, if you're not abusive, I'm gonna leave the comments up because that way people get a laugh at you too. But thank you very, very much, each and every one of you. Greatly appreciated for you having left me a comment as stated to get me out of here into the world, dealing with actual people where I clear my throat obsessively on camera. It takes so much time to get all the mucus and stuff off of your vocal cords, or at least mine anymore. Thank you very much. And if you can check out my various links, I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com, and NearlySeniorCitizen.com as well. A blog, I haven't done anything yet. I'm going to soon. If you can check out my various links, I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com. I just said that. Oh my God, my brain. I've only been up like an hour and a half. Thank you very much for coming along with me on this journey of exploration. If you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. It is because of you, literally, that I am not homeless. It is greatly appreciated. I would not survive being homeless at all. Thank you very much. You put a roof over my head and you've kept me alive. Thank you. Now, if you cannot donate or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest, so thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be cool. Greatly appreciated. I would understand if you don't want to, but if you're done with it, I will do my best to keep you entertained from now until literal end of time. I'm going to try and have a reaction video, try and have a game video for my game channel, try and have a game video for this channel, so you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend, and that is a very good thing. Yep, I try to keep these at 20 minutes or less.